love it when it's too close to dry. It makes for extended excitement when they have to do recounts.
Too close. Where is it?
Virginia. The only two people on the ballot.
Everybody, welcome. We're getting underway here in just a couple of minutes, and so if you kind of gather in here, we've got an exciting night planned. So kind of gather around. We'll get underway here in just a couple of minutes. Just as a reminder for the crowd here in the front, if you've got placards for campaign signs, please try to keep them down because we've got some press in the back there and they've got to have a clear shot of the podium. So please just respect that and keep your signs down for the duration of the time. But it's going to be a fun evening, so we'll just give it about another minute here and then we'll get the show underway.
You know, the campaign makes various decisions on where they're going to go on various days. And I mean, he was in Washington just like yesterday, so I mean, it's sort of closer, I guess. Washington State.
Everyone, if I could have your attention, please, I'd just like to welcome everyone to the 2012 North Dakota Republican Presidential Caucus. My name is Charlie, and on behalf of the United Republican Committee and the NDGOP, thanks for taking the time to come out this evening, and it's great to see all of you to vote for the next President of the United States. I probably won't have to ask this crowd twice, but who here is proud to be a Republican? Who here today wants to take back the White House? It is a great time to be a Republican, and it's great to see everybody here. This turnout is absolutely awesome. Thanks so much for coming. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a second and acknowledge a few people here that are in the crowd, and there's a lot of them here, and I got the lights in my eyes, so if you can just kind of raise your hand. Stan Stein, the state Republican chairman. Stan, are you out there somewhere? Let's give Stan a round of applause. Also, we've got several candidates for statewide office. We have the U.S. Congresswoman race here in North Dakota. We've got those candidates out here. Let's give them a round of applause. We've also got statewide candidates for the Public Service Commission. Let's give them a round of applause. Raise your hand. Any current and former state legislators in the House, please raise your hand and be acknowledged. Thank you. Before I ask for representatives of the presidential campaigns to speak, I'd like to briefly explain the voting procedures and make a few announcements. I know a lot of you have voted already, and that's great, but the voting goes until 8, so I just want to go through the procedures real quick. When you enter the Crystal Ballroom 1 where the voting is, find your district tables and the volunteers there can assist you. You're required to fill out a registration form first. That form must be filled out before you are issued a ballot. The voting opened at 5:30, and so like I said, some of you have already voted. For those of you who haven't voted yet, after the speeches, you'll be allowed to vote also. That room will be open until 8. You can go right to your representative at your district table, and if you're not in the area, there's a district at-large table in the back of the room that's clearly marked. Again, we're very proud to have you all here today. It's great to see so many people involved, and just a couple other announcements here of some upcoming events so that you can stay involved and keep us on track for victory in November. Politics and a Plate tomorrow. It's hosted by the Cass County United Republican Committee. That's Wednesday, March 7th. That's tomorrow. That's at the Holiday Inn in Fargo. It's noon to 1, and registration begins at 11:30. It's $12 to attend, and that includes an outstanding buffet lunch. The program tomorrow is the House candidates. That will be featuring Kim Koppelman, Brian Kalk, Betty Grandy, Shane Gettle, and Kevin Kramer. Also, the monthly business meeting of the Cass County Young Republicans is Tuesday, March 13th at 6 p.m. It'll be held at the Goldmark Building, 1711 Gold Drive South in Fargo. Anyone is welcome to attend that meeting, and on the agenda we've got discussion on the delegate selection process for the state convention, as well as the election of officers. For information, you can find the Cass County Young Republicans on Facebook, or send an email to casscountyyr@gmail.com. I will now ask the representatives from the campaign to come forward. They know the order already. The order is a representative from the Mitt Romney campaign, and then the Rick Santorum campaign. And then Congressman Ron Paul will speak. Each campaign will have 10 minutes to speak.
God, that was beautiful.
Just have an announcement from the Ron Paul campaign that they do not boo the other candidates. Thank you. The first one is a representative from Governor Mitt Romney's campaign. It's Republican National Committee woman Sandy Beeler. Let's please welcome Sandy.
And remember that? No moving. We are really so happy that you're all being part of North Dakota tonight. And I just have a little something to talk about Mitt Romney. It is really a great time to be in Fargo, North Dakota. Tonight we have an opportunity and responsibility to start the important process of replacing Barack Obama. This is a serious time for our country. North Dakota may be the heartland of America, but we've led the nation in growth of exports to the rest of the world. We've done well, but we would do even better if we had a president in the White House who understands business. I love your enthusiasm. Mitt Romney is not a career politician and not a Washington insider. He spent most of his adult life in the private sector, starting new businesses and turning around failing ones. He understands the need to open new markets for America's goods, and he's committed to developing our natural resources with good stewardship to move our nation toward energy security. I have been a supporter of Mitt Romney's for a long time. I was fortunate to meet his wife Ann of 42 years, two of his 5 sons, Tag and Josh, and look forward to meeting the rest of his family. Mitt was in his cousins, I heard. I don't know that yet. Mitt was in Fargo last week. Okay, you guys have to be quiet, it's not fair. Mitt was in Fargo last week and gave a rousing speech in the morning at Wrigley Mechanical, and his son Josh was here the same day, but in the evening spoke at Fargo's delegate endorsing convention. Now Josh has 5 children and travels around the country talking about his father. He said he's been such a wonderful dad and knows that he will make a wonderful president. Mitt's a man of great character and lives his values every day. He's a leader in his church and community, and he will never do anything as president that would embarrass his country or the office. Mitt Romney understands leadership. Every leadership opportunity he's had, he's been a success. From the Olympics to the state of Massachusetts. He led the Olympics back from the brink of scandal and bankruptcy, and led the state of Massachusetts cutting taxes 19 times, eliminating a $3 billion deficit and replacing it with a $2.3 billion rainy day fund. He did that with a legislature that was 85% Democrat. Now, that's leadership. I know, thank you. I know Mitt is ready on day 1 to lead America's turnaround, and that he is the one that can defeat Barack Obama next fall. please join me tonight in casting your vote for Mitt Romney. Thank you and have a great night.
Thanks so much, Sandy. Just a quick break from the schedule here. I've got a quick announcement from the Ron Paul Deputy Campaign Manager, Dimitri Kasari.
Hey guys, appreciate you coming out. Ron, you get a second in a minute, but please, be quiet for the other speakers, don't boo. Ron likes everyone to be polite. He wants people to be polite when he's speaking, and he wants people to be polite when others are speaking, okay?
Next, we have representatives from the Rick Santorum campaign. There are 4 representatives that will be speaking, and the entire allotted time for the Santorum campaign will be, as the others, 10 minutes. The representatives for the Rick Santorum campaign are Tom Fryer from the North Dakota Family Alliance, Leon Francis from the North Dakota Tea Party Caucus, Sharon Carlson, who's the wife of House Majority Leader Al Carlson, and Vince Alstead. First, we have Tom Fryer. Give him a round of applause.
All right, thank you. And you maybe noticed I had to change into the proper attire. How many of you do not belong to, are you not part of the family? None. Well, then this is the address I wanted to share with all of you. I am Tom Fryer with the North Dakota Family Alliance, and I am supporting Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum is unashamedly pro-family, pro-life, pro-marriage, pro-faith. Everything I'm hoping that everyone in this room can stand for. He does not have to be convinced of his position. He does not have to look at polls to determine where he should stand. He speaks from the heart. He is genuine. Because Santorum knows where he stands, when President Obama sought to infringe on our religious liberties, and he camouflaged it by trying to make it look like something about contraception, hoping that he could drive a wedge between the Republican Party and women, Rick Santorum clearly understood what it really was. It was a violation of our First Amendment right of conscience and an attack on our religious liberty, and even more than that, liberty itself. With gas prices soaring, the cost of a bag of groceries staggering, the family is struggling to balance their checkbook, just like you are. All of this at a time when the federal government is spending out of control and the national debt is going through the ceiling, and who is going to pay for all this? The family, you and I, your children, and our grandchildren. Santorum has a firm recognition of the correlation between the cultural state of the family and the fiscal crisis in this country. He understands the devastating effect of the breakdown of the family, not only as a social or a moral issue, but it's also its economic effect on this country. Santorum understands as traditional marriage rates decline and more adults and children are placed on the public access roll, it costs billions of dollars per year, and he knows that this trend is not sustainable, and he is the leader that we want to take us through that difficulty. Some have suggested that Santorum may be too conservative, or at least too socially conservative. No, no, no. America is crying out for a man of integrity. America is seeking a leader who respects the dignity of life and the God-given institution of marriage, a president who will stand for what's right. While there are many differences among the candidates, and the media is trying to play that up more, there's really one difference that I want to bring to your attention. I ask myself the question, who do I trust to say what he says he will do? Who do I believe will do what he's telling us? Rick Santorum. Thank you.
Next for the Santorum campaign, Leon Francis.
I think we can all agree on one thing. OMG in 2012. Obama must go. I am Leon Francis. I'm the president of the North Dakota Tea Party Caucus, and I have a little spiel here. Get to it. Edmund Burke tells us that people never give up their liberties, but under some delusion. Today, a goodly part of our country is under the Obama delusion. Obamacare is the law through which all utopian agenda items will be poured. Control over the individual from cradle to grave is what we get with that. Obamacare is the brainchild of a statist. It implements a concept that is foreign and abhorrent to our founding principles. This monstrosity will draw the circle of liberty so snugly around us that our country's original vision will be lost to ourselves and quite possibly our prosperity. Rick Santorum has a vision for this country that does not involve the centralization of government in the name of efficiency and security. He understands the fallacy of that theory. He understands that in the nanny state, uniformity is synonymous with equality of condition, and he will have none of it. President Santorum understands that uniformity in all will replace equality of opportunity for all, and all of our hard-fought-for liberties will be lost, replaced by a list of false rights and entitlements meant to keep us enslaved to an ever-growing, omnipresent nanny state. That is not the type of America I want to leave to my kids. And I don't think that's the type of America I think you guys want to leave to your children. OMG in 2012. And I want to stand here and I want to put my support for Rick Santorum front and center. I want to be with him when he charges that hill and tries to take the fight to those socialists that are in the White House. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon Carlson.
Yes, I like your enthusiasm too. But I'm a grandmother, probably older than, could be old enough to be your mother, so just remember, one grandchild called me the fern grandma. Okay, I'm here to support Senator Rick Santorum in his bid for the Republican nomination for the President of the United States. My husband Al and I have 3 grown children, 9 grandchildren, and the 10th one that was supposed to have been born on Saturday. So any day now. 10 grandchildren, and I care about this country. Santorum is pro-family, he's pro-faith, he's pro-life, and he's pro-liberty. Just as I am. Okay. Senator Santorum is a man of integrity and consistency. He's been a national leader on pro-life issues with a clear record of results. He stood consistently in defending the most vulnerable among us in the U.S. Senate. He authored 2 of the priority pro-life efforts that were signed into law by President George W. Bush, the Partial Birth Abortion Ban and the Born Alive Infants Protection Act. A shame we have to have that in this country, but George W. Bush signed it. As U.S. Senator Rick consistently stood against activist judicial nominees, and as a Republican leader in the Senate, he was pivotal in the fight to confer U.S. Supreme Court Justice Roberts and Justice Alito. Rick knows what it is to take on the left and to win on judges. And he is the only Republican candidate to have done so. Now, I, like many of you, heard Rick speak here last week, or 2 weeks ago, and I liked his tenacity. He did not use political speak to soften his language. He stated that people are entitled to their own opinions, but they're not entitled to their own facts. Ronald Reagan once said, facts are stubborn things. And for the last 3 years, the fact that we Americans have a U.S. Constitution and a Bill of Rights that has been trampled on by Barack Obama is deplorable. Now, conventional wisdom tells us that it's important that Republicans choose a candidate who can beat Obama. Well, yeah, but let's challenge that conventional wisdom and add another quality which is not only important, but it's vital to beat Obama, and that is conservatism. Because it worked for Ronald Reagan, and it's going to work for Rick Santorum. Join me in supporting him as the next President of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vince Alstead.